Welcome to ZR Examiner. Today we're going to talk about solar power. This is part two of my climate change series that I got going. If you haven't watched part one, I know it sucks. My video equipment sucks. Watch it anyway. You get some valuable information. Um, Today we're going to cover solar power. Solar power definitely has its pluses, also has its minuses. We're going to cover all that today. And I'm gonna admit straight up that I'm not a big solar power fan. Not yet, anyway. But let's start with the basic facts, and we'll work from there. The estimates for people who are promoting solar power says it'll take about it would take a solar farm about 11. It's the size of 11.2 million acres to power the entire United States. Now that's one third the size of the state of Illinois, which would wipe out Chicago and most of the counties south of it, which, if any Illinoisan knows, would be a good thing. At least they'd be doing something productive. That's a different story. We're gonna start with individual family homes. Okay, that 11.2 million acre figure that I quoted would provide something. I mean, well, it would provide enough energy to power the United States. But here's the other thing: if all the family-owned homes in the United States were solar powered, meaning instead of a roof, you're gonna the traditional shingle tile, blah blah blah. You're gonna have solar panels. Uh, that takes care of half the energy supply right there. Okay, but here's the deal. To solar power a house, and the estimates that I've looked at are averaging a 2,000 square foot home. Don't we all wish? That's about $20,000 to get your house off the grid with solar power. $20,000. That's an average to power every home, individually owned home, with solar power. Okay, you're talking about somewhere between 15, 29, $30,000. Okay, I came across an article in my own state, Belleville, Illinois. I don't know, 70, 80 miles away. Um, about a 40-acre farm that's being basically allowed. The owner of the farm is going to let this Geronimo Energy Company. I didn't write down the name. Sorry, it's Geronimo. They're going to let him come in and let him install solar panels on 40 acres of their farmland. Now that's going to power 800 homes. 400, excuse me, 40 acres to power 800 homes. Okay? On a money saving scale, you're still going to be paying the same amount you're paying like Ameren, CIPS, whoever your energy provider is at the moment. You're still going to be paying them the same amount because solar energy is no cheaper than traditional energy. It's just so-called cleaner than traditional energy. We're going to address that issue as well too, if I can ever figure it. Okay, here we go. Now, I used the Belleville, Illinois figures and applied it to my own town, my own hometown of Royalton, Illinois. Very small town. We're talking about 1 to 2 square miles, 500 or so homes. How big of a solar farm would it take to power this town? Okay. I figured, according to Belleville's figures, it would take 25 acres of land to power this tiny little town of 11 to 1,200 people. That's 28% of our entire landscape. That's just to power this tiny little town of 1,100 people. 25 acres right around there. Okay? Considering the size of the town and the money we take in, it's not possible. Okay? It's just not possible on a scale like that, especially in a town like this. And we're not the only town like this. We can't forget that solar energy output, the total output, is completely dependent on weather conditions. Okay? You could very well one day be having 100% energy output, maybe even more. And the next 4 days, 5 days, you could only be having 50% energy output. Now, if there's no system in place that stores any excess energy, battery backups, type like that, and this is we're talking individual or citywide, then you're pretty well screwed. That means you're gonna have to stay connected to the primary power source. So you're going to be paying the solar energy company, and at some point, you're going to be paying the regular energy company. What do I got next here? Oh, yeah, long term effects of solar energy. Most of the land that's going to be donated, used, bought, sold, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be farmland. So, number one, you're looking at a decline in agricultural activity on a very large scale. The long term effects are, at the very least, you're going to be dealing with a loss of agricultural productivity. On a larger scale, you're going to be dealing with possible local climate change, depending on the size of the farm. These solar panels are not 100% efficient, which means they are going to dissipate heat in some way, shape, or form. Locally, back into the environment, back into the ground, they're going to change the amount of heat the ground dissipates back into the atmosphere. You're talking about a probable loss of natural vegetation, a almost definite loss of natural wildlife that used to be natural to that particular area. There are downsides to solar power that we haven't proven yet. We have no way of knowing until we try. Given what we know, it just doesn't seem feasible to apply solar power on a large scale. Not until solar panels themselves are cheaper, more efficient. I said cheaper, more affordable. You know, that an average family could have it done. You know, if the average family could say, "Hey, come in, install some solar panels on my roof. I don't want to pay Ameren anymore," and there was a guarantee, it might be a different story. But that's not the case. You're still going to be connected to the major power source just in case your power supply is interrupted by natural causes. Until these natural causes are addressed and the whole price issue is addressed, until the whole environmental impact issue is addressed, I just cannot justify solar power on a nationwide scale. There are too many if, ands, or buts. If you can prove to me otherwise, you have a comment section, please use it. I'd love to hear your ideas on the matter. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Um, I may address wind power next. Even less so, it'd be a short video because I'm really less on wind power than I am on solar power. But either way, the next episode of God's going to be entertaining and educational. So stay tuned. Hope to see you again.